If you've ever seen the musical Hamilton, you know that the last song talks about who is going to tell Alexander Hamilton's story. And the question and the relevance for that with your high school student is that we want to make sure that your student, or if you are the student, that you are prepared to be able to tell a positive story and to be able to interweave the different things that make you unique and the things that make you your own person into every part of your college application. We want to be able to make sure that you, whether it be a short answer question, your personal statement, an essay, whether it be something that an email that you are sending out to the school, that you know what that unique story is. It's almost like your personal catchphrase. So we're going to dive into that today. So stay tuned. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Courtney, and I am the founder of Confused to College Ready. I am so excited that you are here today and want to be able to share with you some of the fun things that we are doing. We have a brand new Facebook group. Well, not brand new, but a new Facebook group. And we're in there answering questions, putting posts up, suggestions, being able to help make sure that you have everything that you need as you are navigating the college search for your student, or if you are the student. And this is a really exciting thing. So we have a list of all of our podcast episodes that you can search. We also are going to be launching our beta. So this is going to be at a super reduced rate, our beta course, where you are going to have different lessons with me that will be recorded. We are going to have different information and coaching sessions for our families so that you can have some specific help and go even more in depth than what we do here on the podcast. I try to share some of the basic information with you, but sometimes it also can be really overwhelming. And so this course is going to be weeks long, many weeks long, and we're going to really dive in. So I'm super, super excited for that. If you want more information, please go to our website and you can download our free guide on how to get started or expand your college search. And then you'll be on our email list so that I can give you more information about that as it's coming in the next few weeks. So with that being said, the other thing that I would love to have you do is, if this podcast has been helpful to you, I would really love if you would share with your friends and family. Also leave a review. That is a fabulous way for other people to be able to find us. And it also just helps your friends, your family that might be in the same position as you are to be able to take a look and get the same help that you are getting. So we are going to talk about the story that a student is telling. Every single person has their own unique path, their own unique journey, their own unique story to be able to tell. So like I said before, Alexander Hamilton, the play, the musical ends with him talking about who's telling his story. And what I want to be able to do is make sure that your student, or you, if you are the student, that you are fully equipped to be able to tell your own story, because it is a magical, wonderful thing. And we want you to not feel stressed over this and to be able to know that you're in a great place. So let's talk about a couple of different things. The term that I am going to use, so there's your unique story, but also like your personal catchphrase. Some people might call it an outtake or your slogan. Businesses call this an elevator pitch. So what is it that you want to be able to tell someone about you in a couple of sentences as the elevator is going from floor to floor, that if someone turns to you and said, "Tell me about yourself," or in the business world, what do? You have the time that the elevator is moving from those, between those floors, to be able to tell that unique story. So, or to give their elevator pitch about what the business is about. We want to be able to do the same thing, so that if someone said, "Tell me about you," some schools are going to have an interview process that you have to go through as you are applying. Not all of them. but some will. I had 2 of the schools that I attended, they did not have an interview, but the third school, when I specialized, they did have an interview that I needed to go into. And so being prepared for that can help, and being able to think ahead for you. So looking at what is that personal catchphrase that you want to be able to be known for? And then we want to be able to have that interwoven through the different components of your application. That's something that you also can ask recommenders to include as they are writing a letter of recommendation. Is there something specific that you want to make sure that they tell? And does that apply to your catchphrase, to your story? If not, if there's not anything that you think, oh, I really want to make sure this recommender talks about ABC, that's okay. That's totally okay. But if there is something that is super important to you, maybe you have a passion, you decided in the summer before your senior year, when you couldn't make adjustments to courses, but you decided that you were incredibly passionate about working in a certain industry. So you couldn't make changes to classes. You really weren't able to get involved in, there wasn't a club offering for that particular area at your school. That's something that you can speak to in that personal statement, as well as having your recommender address that. So I hope that makes sense, that you want to be able to make sure that if there is something that you want to really hammer home and have the admissions committee be able to understand, that is one thing I would definitely encourage you to do, is to have that contact. With weaving that common thread, that could be taking your passions, taking the things that you're interested about, taking any kind of unique circumstances that you have been through. And that doesn't just have to be negative. It's not something that's necessarily has to be a negative or about overcoming a huge hardship. Some people haven't faced a hardship, and that's okay too. So you can even say, I haven't experienced multiple hardships like some people might have, but here is how I am unique. And here are the things that I have done throughout my life to be able to get me to a point where I am ready to be a graduate, where I am ready to be able to jump in to the work, ready to be a high school graduate, jump into the work at college, and this is what I think I can bring to your school. So it really is about honing some of that in. When we go into the program, we cover this in a lot more detail as far as different interests. This is where, if you have been involved in different activities, that you can incorporate that in telling stories about leadership or telling stories about something that you have done. You don't necessarily need to be involved in 500 different activities. In fact, I would encourage you not to be. I would say, get involved in the things that you are passionate about. If your interests change, that's where you can end up addressing and adjusting what you want to do and discuss that within either your written statement, or if there is a personal essay component, and then sometimes there might be short answers or written supplements that schools are going to ask for. One of the best ways for you to know what the schools are looking for is if you go to the school website and you can see what their application is asking. The other thing that you can do is if you go to Common App, if you go to the Common App website, and there is some first time student information, and so you can look at their different steps, and we talk about this in several other podcast episodes, but there's a list of the different steps that you can follow. One of the things that's there talks about your writing, and so it will give you the Common App essay prompts. There are a handful of them that you can choose from. The very last one is write your own personal statement. That is essentially giving you a free ticket to write about whatever you want. And we're not going to dive into the essays in detail right now. That's a different topic for a different day. But it is something where you can see what those essay prompts are And then the next piece that they have is that you actually can look at the colleges to see if the colleges have any college-specific questions, if the colleges have any specific questions for your major. So you can see if there are major-specific questions, and then if there are any additional supplements that they want you to complete. So depending on how much of that your particular schools are looking for, that's a really good way for you to know how many places can you interweave that theme, so that as an admissions representative is reviewing your application and they see that these are the things that stand out about you, and the standout factors that can help them get to know you better and be able to know what kind of student you would be and how you would be a fit at their school. So those are the things that I would suggest. So looking at how to tell your story, think about what it is that is going to define you, what it is that you are looking into being able to do when you apply to that college. Why is it that you want to attend there? What are you hoping to be able to do as a student? Looking at that personal catchphrase, being able to say, this is my couple of sentences to be able to describe me, but then knowing that you can flesh that out even more into some of those longer answer components, into that personal statement, the written essays, all of those pieces. We want to look at interweaving that common thread between every single part, letters of recommendation, your essays, any kind of short answer, and then also be super specific. You want this to really be coming from the student's point of view. Parents, I know that a lot of times we want to be able to help our kids and they're stressed and they're overwhelmed. But this is something that the colleges are wanting to read, and they're wanting to hear from the student. And so this essay should come from the student's point of view. It shouldn't be something that the parents are writing, or you can absolutely give feedback and proofread and help and that kind of thing. And some families will end up spending time sitting around the kitchen table and having those conversations. And that is wonderful. I'm not saying that, but it should be something coming directly from the student. And then it also doesn't have to be negative or always about overcoming something. If you had those circumstances, absolutely include that so that the admissions officers know where you've been and what you've done. But if you don't feel like you need to make something up. That's the other piece, is you want to be truthful and honest as you are writing all of these essays and statements, and the admissions officers, the college admissions officers, they're going to know if something seems exaggerated or false. You want to be able to use this as your way to stand out from others and to be able to share what makes you so amazing. And just as a last reminder, the school that you attend is the one that's going to be the right fit for you. So I also I firmly believe this is something that I talk about quite often, is that there's not a perfect college. We're going to look for the schools that are a good fit. We're going to look for the schools that are going to have and offer what you need. And that is with potential majors, that's finances, that is in the geographic area. And again, these are all things that we go into a lot of detail on within the course. And those are the things that I will be coaching on. So, and it's not going to be, the thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars that some people charge for coaching. I want this to be something that is affordable, and particularly for this very first group. And I want you all to be able to help me with how the direction of how it's going to go and what you specifically need help with. So again, if you're interested in that, please reach out to me. My email is admin@confusedtoready.com. We will also have the free download at confusedtoready.com /how to start. and that's the guide on how to start or expand your college search. And then we will also be, we have the Facebook group, and I would love if you are finding this helpful, if you would please share with others. We have, this is our 30th episode, and we have over 560 downloads at this point. So thank you all for listening and being a part of this, and I look forward to talking with you soon. Take care.